welcome everybody. This is Carlton Hamilton. This is Plan Your Greatness. See this little thing? It's funny. You just woo. Let's get going. All right. Enough of the toys. All right. Again, this is Plan Your Greatness. I'm your gracious host, Carlton Hamilton. Here on a Saturday evening, I got some stuff to do a little bit later on, but I wanted to get this video in so I could get it uploaded. So you guys can have something. I try to do something every day. All right, again, Plan Your Greatness. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start out with the weigh-in. I am at 249. Intermittent fasting, I believe in it. I'll probably share some more information about that as well. But it's working. Lost a couple pounds. Got a good workout in today. So I'm excited. All right, website being worked on, planyourgreatness.com. I'm going to get right into this, and I'm going to get back to the places where you can catch all the stuff, because I'm figuring in my mind that if I'm not getting right into this, I'm not capturing, the people's attention. All right, so we are doing the 9 Pillars of Success series. We are actually on number 7 right now. All right, we've gone through 6 of them. I'm not going to go over them. Because you go back and look at the video, you can go see like here, like, share, subscribe, look in the little messages they have below, and you'll be able to see, or just go to my channel and see exactly the other ones that I covered, 1 through 6. So we're going to jump right into number 7, and that is trust your mind's eye. Okay, in other words, can you see what I feel? All right. Now, here's what happens with us when we're smaller. We're indoctrinated with this idea that I will only believe it when I see it. Okay. I mean, we get that from a very early age. And what I call that is purely an interpretation. That is purely pre-programming, and that's our early indoctrination. Okay. So here's a story. Miss Jones, 3rd grade teacher. So she has this inner city class, and they're just out of control. Little black kids, little Mexican kids, whatever, running all over the place. This particular day, kids are great. So the last 15, 20 minutes of the classroom, she says, you know what? You guys have just been awesome today. So what I want to do is I want to reward you with the last 15, 20 minutes of class. What I want you to do, just grab your pencils, pens, crayons, markers, anything you want. Grab, construction paper, and the last 15 minutes, have at it. Draw whatever you want to. Kids are flying all over the place. Woo, yeah, we get to play around like. Okay, and so everybody's doing their thing. She said, hey, make sure you stay in your desk, but get the paper that you need. So she starts walking around the classroom, looking at her little Benjamin Bannekers and, what are they going to do? And all of a sudden she comes to Lil Jamari. Lil Jamari he is just writing with his little left hand, and he's got it covered up so you can't really see. So she comes up to him and goes, Jamari, what are you drawing? And Jamari just tilts his head up a little bit, just goes, I'm drawing a picture of God. And she, of course, like anybody would do, they go, a picture of God? She goes, sweetie, nobody knows what God looks like. And he's still just writing, and he just bends his head up just enough so his mouth can clear his arms. And Jamari says, they will in a minute. Now, I love that story, and I know you cracking up at that story as well. What makes that story so real, and what we're talking about here today, where we talk about trust your mind's eye, is that little boy, Jamari, had unwavering faith in what he believed in his mind eye. Nobody else can claim on this planet they've actually seen God. People have drawn images, whatever. And so in his mind, he thought he knew what God looked like. And he was about to draw us a picture and tell you what God looked like. Unwavering faith in what you believe in. Trust your mind's eye like Lil Jamari did. Okay? Because you have to be careful. Because in the 3 steps, you say what you want, You say why you want what you want. Then you go into what Lil Jamari does, is that you then start picturing something that somebody has never seen before. Okay? So you have to be careful on sharing your goals with other people, because what you immediately do is you expose a lack in other people and they don't like it. All right? So what happens is people become very reactionary. They become very defensive. They start to give you, hey, let me give you some advice and tell you why your thing ain't gonna work. I'm gonna just play devil's advocate. You know what I'm saying? Let me just give you another perspective. And all of those, they can take them and stick them up their ass, because it's in your mind. And here's the deal with that. Let me just stop right there and get right to the next point. They're all correct. And why are they correct? Because they are giving you what is the perspective on life and goals and dreams from their perspective. They've had a life that has sucked, and they have not dreamed, they have not pursued goals. So they are looking around and saying, well, I can't do it. What makes you think you can do it? And you are in my proximity. Okay? So again, they are absolutely 100% correct from their perspective. So when we use this term, oh man, that dude just hating. He's hating, or she's hating from her perspective. That person can't see in your mind's eye what you see. And just like Jamari, have unwavering faith and just say, they will in a minute. Okay? That might be your mantra. If somebody says, oh, you can't do this, they will in a minute, or they will in a year, or whatever. Watch me. All right? So again, their perspective, they've been pre-programmed to say, you can't do it because I couldn't do it. All right. It also brings about an inferiority complex, because again, they have not taken the time to dream, to set goals, to think bigger than where they are right now. And it's very frustrating when you see someone else stretching themselves to a level that they want to go to. All right. Now, that challenges their belief system, and it challenges that self-talk that's in their head. So there's this book out there. Most of us know, what that book is. It's read a lot on Sundays. All right. In that book, it states that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. Basically, it's saying that if you believe wholeheartedly in what you want to become physically real, it will come real based on your faith. I think it's be unto you based on your faith, something like that. Okay. I'm not a biblical scholar. I was raised in the Baptist church. All right. In the metaphysical world, which is the more millennials as far as how they see things, and it's very much the same thing, just different wording. It says the perceived power of the mind linked with the power to shape substances. What they're really saying is that if you believe wholeheartedly in something that's not here, you are able to tap into the what they call the one mind, or the universe, and you are able to, what they say, bend reality. I think Steve Jobs coined that phrase first. You're able to bend reality to what it is that you believe that you want. I love that. All right. So I am under the impression, in my life experiences and all the things that I've gone through, and my story, prison, dysfunctional household. I had to dig myself out of the hole, became a college graduate. I'm a business owner. And so now I'm doing this to try to give something back. I believe it's 3 phases. That your greatness, as we talk about here, planning your greatness, it works through 3 phases. And that is, the first one is, it's in your mind. It's a thought. You tap into that, or I believe the universe actually taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, you have all the attributes. And if you take this idea, you're going to have some bumps and bruises along the way. But if you take this idea that we're tapping on your shoulder, it will make you everything that you want to be in your life. So it's either that, either you're tapping into, or the universe is tapping you. So the first one, it comes in your mind. The second one is you feel it. It becomes this desire. Okay, you begin to feel it. And then the last thing is that if you do the work, you take the idea, you do the daily work, it now then will appear, because then you'll start imagining it, and now you see it before it comes into real life. So with that in mind, I got ahead of myself. So with all those things in place, you flip that around. Remember I said at the beginning is I will believe it when I see it. What you begin to understand is the only way that you are going to see it is you must firmly believe it first. All right. So Dr. Dennis Kimbro, okay, I got I think this was his very first book, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. Okay. He wrote this book because he was asked to finish, because according to records, Napoleon Hill started writing Think and Grow Rich for black people. He died. W. Clement Stone got a hold of the manuscript and asked Dr. Dennis Kimbro to finish it. Okay. So what he did was he was writing another book, What Makes the Great Great, and talking about black wealth, but he had to finish that one first. All right. So in his book, What Makes the Great Great, Dr. Dennis Kimbro came across these 7 traits. Now, one of them we're going to talk about right now. He said that people that are very successful, they are more inner directed as opposed to outer directed. All right. He said, and I'm looking at that specifically, is that they see things first in their mind, inside, before it actually comes out. And they actually are relying on their unwavering faith, like Jamari, when people say you can't do this, you can't do that. Okay. So that's what we're talking about, is trust your mind's eye. Believe in what you feel and follow that more so than what you hear with other people, because if somebody's telling you can't do something, they're operating from these eyes as opposed to this inner mind. All right. In Napoleon Hill, okay, in this book, The Law of Success, woohoo, and that's actually all the research that's in Think and Grow Rich. So I always refer to that one because that is all the bulk of everything. In that book, he says, indulge your imagination. And what he means is don't hang out in your memory, because I've mentioned this before. Your memory is limited. It can only tell you what you have seen, done, and what you already know. You have to go into your imagination, because it is absolutely unlimited. You can find a quote, one of the really good quotes by Albert Einstein, where he said, I would rather operate out of my imagination than my memory, because my memory has limitations. It only can tell me what I've seen, done, already know, but the imagination is unlimited. It covers everything that I've seen, done, and already know. Now I'm being introduced into an area of unlimited possibilities. I can think, I can dream, I can look at anything that I can be, do, have, want, and I can imagine that and then bring that into my reality, into my now. Awesome. Okay. So one of my favorite movies, and we're still on the theme of trust your mind's eye. And we're talking about when you are doing this, you are operating in your imagination. And so one of my favorite movies is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Now, do not, if I butcher some of the song, that's okay. But my favorite scene is when they go into the chocolate room and he starts to dance down the stairs and he's going back and forth and he's getting them all prepped, and then he says, come with me, you will see. Oh, wait, hold on. He goes, come with me, you will be in a world of pure imagination. I can't remember what else he says. It's pure divine. Something like that. So, and then I know he says, if you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world? There's nothing to it. Now, when I look at this video, I'm going to see what I sound like later on. I've always wanted to sing, but I don't think I really have that voice, but I'm going to check it out. But here's what I'm getting at. Is that he talked about in that little section of just being where you want to be. And you could be anywhere, be anything, change the world if you believe you can. And that is, again, trusting in your mind's eye. Everybody that has made a monumental change in themselves or in the world, it started in their mind. All right. So I love that. Also, in the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. There it is. There's my book right here. Stephen Covey. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Yes, I read a lot. I read a lot. Okay. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Let me put that over there. All right. Stephen Covey talks specifically about, he says, begin with the end in mind. Now, what do you think he's meaning by that? Go to the future, see what it is you're trying to accomplish, and what does that look like, and then work your way back to the now. Then it becomes very easy, like the African proverb, that if you want to eat an elephant, how do you eat it? One bite at a time. Okay, it's an enormous task, but if you eat it one bite at a time, or you'll eventually eat that sucker up. I don't know how long it'll take, but you eat that big fat sucker up. All right, so taking all those things into consideration, you start to understand that your memory is great. It's just a storage area, but your imagination is the area that is going to kickstart anything that you are trying to do when it's something that you have never done before. Memory is limited. Your imagination is unlimited. All right. Take a little time as you are operating in your mind's eye. Take a little time to be still. Because I was going to tell this story about how I had some people look at one of my manuscripts and I wanted some feedback. They didn't give me any feedback. So I was a little bit upset. And so what I understood, I said, if you can't take a little bit of your time to give me some proofreading and feedback, I said, how much of your day are you taking up to in your time? How much time are you doing to taking that space out? So I look at that and I go, take some time out. If you're going to sit in that space and operate from your mind's eye, take a little bit of time out to be still and listen to yourself and think about what it is that you want. What do you want? Why do you want that? And your imagination. Take a moment to just get still so you can bring that about. All right. When I was in prison, and I always want to make sure that I stress on the point in each video, because we are talking about a journey that went from very low where I grew up to very high as a professional athlete, down to very low going into prison, coming back out and now doing what I'm doing. There's nobody, I'm saying this right now, there is nobody on the planet that can match my skill set on where I've come from and what I present. Okay, that's what I want to share with people, is that my situation is very unique, and most of you don't, not most of you, all of you don't have a scenario like mine. You have something similar, but if you had mine, I'm not sure what you would have done with it. So I'm telling you that I got through that, and most of you don't have nearly the stuff that I went through. And I'm saying that if I could get through this, I know you can get through whatever it is that you're trying to get through. All right. So just throwing that out there. All right. So when I was locked up in prison, one of the things that I noticed was that the inmates had this vision of your life is over. You committed a felony. Nobody's going to hire you. Nobody's going to do anything. That's their vision. They are looking from these eyes. They're not looking at the possibility in their mind, which I had to go through every day. Think about that. You're constantly being encouraged that your life is just a waste. You're a piece of shit. The world's going to see you as a piece of shit. That every day, by your close people, by the guards, by everybody, every interaction that you have in the course of a day, they're looking at you like you are a piece of dog shit. Actually, remember that movie, Shark Tales? I used to watch that with my kids with Shark Tales. There was a scene in there where Will Smith, he's this little bitty old fish, and the guy's trying to tell him how low on the totem pole is. He says there's he would say there's sharks and this, and then there's whale poop, and then there's you. And he goes, that's messed up. That's what being in prison, they make you feel like every day, that you are lower than cat shit every single day. So I'm dealing with that, and I'm having to reprogram myself every day to beat that out of my system and fill my mind and body with something else that's getting me in the right direction. That's what I'm trying to do. All right, so I'm saying that because I am absolutely 100% living proof that if you want something, you can have something. All right, so here's my challenge. Okay, my challenge to you is ask and answer the 3 questions. All right, I think I said 2. Ask and answer the 3 questions. Once you do that, you're going to lay this foundation. After you lay this foundation, you're going to be able to have something to sit on top of the 9 pillars. Now, we've only gone through 7. Okay, trust your mind's eye. We've got 2 more. We've got 8 and 9. So now you have something to sit on top of it. But my challenge, you ask and answer yourself the 3 questions, then ask yourself, or look around and pick one of the pillars. Apply it until it becomes just automatic. And then go to the next one, then go to the next one, go to the next one. But find one of the pillars that you can identify with and just say, all right, I'm going to apply that one. I'm going to give all my goals a deadline. And then just apply that and apply that and apply that until every time you get a goal, you immediately give it a deadline, and then you knock it out. And then you can go to stop lying to yourself. Okay, be honest with yourself. And then once it gets to the point that man, I'm just being real. I'm just not being rude, being an ass. I'm just being real with myself. Okay, and then see where that goes. You get that squared away. All right, like this page, subscribe to this page. Share this video, because this is Carlton Hamilton. This is Plan Your Greatness. And I'm always going to say this every time. You need to plan your greatness because no one else will. I'll see you guys all. Move my hand. Let me see. Right there. I will see you guys all next time.